Kurapika is going to become one of, if not the strongest character in Hunter x Hunter, but only if he fulfills these conditions. I've been thinking about the concept of inheriting Nen since the chapter 411, and there are 3 applications when it comes to the methods Nen can be inherited. The first one is generational Nen, which just means someone with strong Nen capabilities passing down their potential through genetics, like how Gon is the son of Jin, or how Beyond Netero is the son of Isaac Netero, not to mention the entire Zoldyck family. Genetics, however, is more about potential. Anyone can produce aura and use Nen, but it is really hard to control it. But in Hunter x Hunter, it is very clear that genetics play a huge role in the talent a person possesses. The second one is acquiring or granting aura through Nen abilities. Some examples of this would be Miriam's aura synthesis, where aura grows through consumption, or Morena's contagion, where she infects a member, increasing their target's aura. But there is a stronger, more potent, yet trickier way of acquiring Nen, which is heritage. How it differs from genetics is that the original Nen user is not losing anything by passing down their genetics to the next generation, but inheriting Nen is different. This is transferring power to another person, but you cannot do it without a contract. This was pretty much confirmed in chapter 411 when Kurapika explained that the entire succession war was just a Nen ability to inherit and guarantee prosperity for the next king. There are 4 phases to this ritual: praying and making an offering to the gods, sacrificing the lives of kin, a celebration for the spirits of the dead, and gathering together the bodies of the princes who died. If all the conditions are met, with that power the next king will rule the Kakin Empire until they will have another succession contest. If the ritual fails, however, the royal family will fall from power. But the entire reason this ritual is so powerful is because it is performed within the royal family. Ruling a country of over a billion people cannot be achieved by making a Nen contract that involves 14 non-related people fighting to the death. But because they are all in the position of inheriting the throne, the ritual's power is multiplied exponentially. There are also 3 sacred treasures imbued with Nen that are crucial for this ritual: the seed urn used by the succession war's participants, the Zen Buddha watching over the succession war, and the blade of divine guidance, which is the sword of succession passed down to the next king. And this is why heritage Nen is so powerful. The seed urn was conjured by the first king, and the spirit guardian beasts conjured from the urn are made from the aura of previous sacrifices of the royal family. It is believed that you will be granted a special power by proving your inheritance to the urn through focusing your desire for the crown. So only the Kakin royal family can use the urn because of their heritage. This does not, however, mean that they have to be related to the first king, since one of the princes is most likely the child of Beyond Netero. But as long as they are legitimate children of the queen, they are part of the Kakin royal family. We learned a long time ago that objects can be shrouded in aura, but the Kakin treasures are something different. They are imbued with aura, serving a purpose. And this is the only time we have seen a conjured item last post-mortem for several generations. The reason is because their purpose is to power the succession war, watch over the succession war, and guide the winner of the succession war. There are many bladed weapons in Hunter x Hunter, like the Ben's knives. Benny DeLon made a knife for himself each time he killed someone and later put them for sale. These Ben's knives hold some aura because of his talent, making them pretty dangerous weapons. Even Silva said, "Must be a really good knife to be able to cut me," when fighting Krollo, who was using a Ben's knife. But they were made for selfish reasons and then sold to anyone who was willing to buy them. The blade of divine guidance is only passed down to the next king of the Kakin Empire, and its sole purpose is to help the king govern a country more than a billion people. And because of its power, Krollo is now trying to steal it. And I am a bit worried about what will happen to Krollo if he does. But this is the difference between potential and heritage. And people who have both, like Prince Zeraidnik, can definitely conquer the world if they end up winning the succession war. However, the key word to inheriting Nen is sacrifice. One of the 4 phases of the ritual is sacrificing Kakin's royal princess to empower the next king, and the dead princess will also power the next succession war through the seed urn. And if there is a character in Hunter x Hunter who is willing to sacrifice everything for his heritage, it has to be Kurapika. I do not fear death. What I fear is that my rage will one day fade away. There were 128 members in the Kurta clan, of whom 37 possessed scarlet eyes, and only Kurapika and 36 pairs of scarlet eyes remain. As early as the hunter exam, Kurapika revealed his resolve. He had sworn to get his revenge and recover the eyes of his clan. This, maybe without Kurapika even realizing it, was a vow he had set for himself. And if Kurapika succeeds, he will be able to inherit the power of the scarlet eyes. Because there is a reason those with scarlet eyes gain tremendous strength when their eyes turn red, and why Kurapika turns into a specialist. That is because the scarlet eyes possess a huge amount of aura. To other people, they are just trinkets, but Kurapika is the only one who can access their power, and we have already been told how it is possible. His heritage, his sacrifice, him recovering the eyes of those who died, and his celebration of the dead. Just like the Kakin ritual. And Kurapika has already confirmed while explaining the Kakin royal family's ritual how he has himself already performed the sacrifice. The concept of a soul survivor already fulfills the vow of putting lives on the line. So the only thing left to do is to recover the remaining eyes, which I believe are in the possession of Prince Zeraidnik. Because whatever Beyond Netero is planning, Kurapika will have to be strong enough to fight him. But he does not possess the strength currently to do that. And I've been thinking about Kurapika's next power-up for a long time, since he can only use his chain gel on the spiders and him using Emperor Time rapidly drains his lifespan. But this is how Kurapika is going to become strong enough to survive Dark Continent. After Kurapika defeats Prince Zeraidnik, he will have finally recovered all of the scarlet eyes, fulfilling his vow he had set for himself 5 years ago and becoming able to inherit the power of the scarlet eyes. However, I think there might be an additional condition that triggers this ability. A condition that was set over 5 years ago, simply because it might be the closure Kurapika needs to move on. He made a promise he has not fulfilled yet, but he will have a chance to do that very soon. There is a reason Kurapika became the only survivor of the Kurta clan. It is because of Pyro's Nen ability to protect Kurapika. The ability to adapt through the ages and manipulate the masses are enhanced by Nen. This manipulation is what led Kurapika leaving the village. Pyro tried to save Kurapika, but they both ended up falling down. Somehow Kurapika was unharmed, but Pyro's legs and eyes took heavy damage, which is strange. But it makes sense when we understand that when Pyro realized he couldn't help Kurapika, he made a Nen contract to sacrifice something in order to protect Kurapika. But it was not only for protecting Kurapika in this one instance. It manipulated Kurapika to leave the exact time when he would have been killed with everyone else. But before leaving, Kurapika made one promise. Pyro said to him, "When you return, I'll ask you one question. I'll ask you, was it fun? So have a trip where you can answer yes from the bottom of your heart." After Kurapika recovers the remaining scarlet eyes from Prince Zeraidnik, he'll also be reunited with Pyro. And because of the time Kurapika spent with Gon, Killua and Leoria, he can answer Pyro's question, fulfilling his promise to Pyro and to himself, inheriting the aura stored in the scarlet eyes, granting him the power to be able to fight beyond Netero and survive the Dark Continent.